Adding integers seems easy, right? But what happens when you get this, and this? Negatives can be tricky. We could get a number line and bounce forward and backwards, but no one has time for all that. I'm here to show you some tips and tricks so that you never mess up negative signs again. Alright, adding integers. So what is an integer? Well, an integer is a whole number that can be positive, negative, or even zero. So today that's what we're going to be adding. Let's go ahead and scroll down and see the first two problems. We have 5 plus 3 and 4 plus 2. Now this may be looking a little too easy, but technically this is adding integers. We have positive whole numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Now, like I said, this is extremely straightforward, but I'm going to rewrite this second problem, 4 plus 2, in a little bit of a different way, so we can look at some strategies on how to add these integers when our add-ins have the same sign. First, let's take a look at these parentheses. These parentheses are there just to keep our terms separated and make sure everything's nice and organized. They're not 100% needed, but I like to use them, especially around negative numbers. That way the problem stays looking neat. We also have these plus signs to show that our numbers are positive. I can't think of a time where we actually use plus signs to show that a number is positive, but I'm putting them there now just to emphasize how we add integers when our add-ins have the same sign. So when our add-ins have the same sign, we simply add the numbers, and 4 plus 2 does equal 6. Now I'm going to take it a step farther and say 4 plus 2 equals positive 6. And again, we don't normally write the positive sign, but seeing it worked out this way will hopefully help out when we see addition problems with two negatives. And just like magic, here we are. We have two separate problems. Let's look at this first problem. If we look, both of the add-ins have the same sign. They both are negative. So we can do this problem just like the last one. We're just going to look at the numbers. 6 plus 1. We know that that equals 7. And since our add-ins are both negative, we can just attach our negative on in front of it. So negative 6 plus negative 1 is going to equal negative 7. Okay? Same thing with the next one. Our add-ins are the same sign. They're both negative in this case. We'll just do it again. We'll look at the numbers first. We'll kind of ignore the negatives. 7 plus 5 equals 12. Since our signs are the same and our signs are negative, we'll attach that onto the front. So negative 7 plus negative 5 equals negative 12. Now it works a little bit differently when we have different signs. If we have a negative plus a positive, or a positive plus a negative. Let's go take a look to see what that looks like. So here we have one integer that's positive and one that's negative. Again, we have our parentheses in there just to keep us organized. And also I've put our positive sign next to the 8 just to re-emphasize which number is positive and which is negative. All right, with that out of the way, let's see how this works. When our signs are different, we're going to take these numbers, and technically we're taking the absolute value of the numbers, but in our case, we'll just say the numbers, and we're actually going to subtract them. So here we have 8 and a 3. We'll subtract them, and 8 minus 3 equals 5. But we're not done quite yet. We're going to go back into the problem, and we need to look for the sign of the largest number. We're going to take that sign and attach it to our answer. So since 8 is bigger than 3, and in this case 8 is positive, our answer will also be positive. So our answer is positive 5. So let's practice a couple of these. So here we have negative 7 plus negative 3. Again, when our signs are different, we have a negative and we have a positive. We're going to take these numbers, 7 and 3, and we're just going to subtract them. So 7 minus 3 gives us 4. And now we need to go back into the problem. So which is bigger, 7 or 3? And 7 is going to be the bigger number. And in this problem, it's negative 7. So we need to take this negative and attach it to our answer. So our answer isn't 4. Our answer is actually negative 4. All right. So again, subtracting, going back, looking to see which number is bigger, and then taking that sign and having that as our answer. So let's look at the next one. We have 5 plus negative 2. So we got positive, we got negative. Since we got different signs, we're going to subtract. So I'm going to say 5 minus 2 equals 3. Again, I'm going to go look in the problem. We have positive 5, negative 2. 5 is bigger than 2. 5 happens to be positive, so my answer will be positive 3 this time. So it kind of seems like a lot at first. After you get used to it, it becomes second nature. So hopefully this gets a little bit easier. I do want to take a look at one more problem. If we notice in these two problems that we did, our biggest number was always first. So let me scroll down. And in this last problem that we're going to do, our bigger number is actually second. So let's take a look at this. We have 7 plus negative 8. Since our signs are different, we want to subtract. And just like when we learned subtraction way back in first grade or something, I'm going to take the bigger number and I'm going to move it out front. So I'm going to say 8 minus 7 instead of 7 minus 8. That's just what we're used to, so that's what I recommend doing. 8 minus 7 is going to be 1. I nearly said 0. That's not right. It's 1. And then if I look back in the problem, like I said, 8's bigger than 7. And since we have a negative 8, my answer is going to be negative 1. All right. So again, I would reorganize them a little bit to make sure the bigger numbers first when I subtract. That's just what we're used to, so that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, if our signs are the same, we just add them up and keep that sign. If our signs are different, we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. Hopefully that made sense. If not, ask any questions you have down in the comments. Make sure you leave a nice like and subscribe. That'd be really helpful. I appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one.